Hey everybody, I just wanted to come on and offer some tips on how I personally got into headstand. There is a headstand challenge going on right now on Facebook or Instagram. I've been nominated a number of times and I actually just made my video. It's on my Instagram account and I just wanted to show some of the steps that I took to learning how to get into this inverted position. I did not start where I am now. In my video, I'm doing some pretty fancy leg work, which you can definitely get there, build the strength and practice. But there were some steps that I took, specifically building up the shoulder strength and the strength in my arms so that I'm supporting my whole upper body, taking the weight out of my head so I'm not compromising my neck. The weight is actually in your forearms in this position. So I just wanted to show a rather unsuspecting first step that I took to building the strength in my arms to prepare me for headstand. Here it is. Make your way to the wall. Feet wide, deep squat, booty back. You can take your hands to the mat. You're going to walk your hands out so that you can take your feet to the wall. And your feet stay relatively low so that you can take your heart forward, stacking the shoulders over top of the wrists. Strong push of the mat away. Fill into the space between the shoulder blades. Eyes look forward. Engage the core. Really push the mat away. Broaden the space between the shoulder blades. Hold here for as long as you can. Step down and repeat. And I did that. I did that in little increments, longer each time, building up the strength that is required to catch an inversion. Give it a try. That was step one. Now that we're all super strong, step two, take it to the wall. So I started at the wall because it takes the fear away from falling, having the wall there to support you. But you want to be really close to the wall because in order to feel light in this position, you actually need to get your bum up over your head and then past your head just a little bit. So the weight is actually like behind you when you're upside down. Your knees come forward as your bum goes back and it balances the weight, but it takes it behind rather than stacked right on top of you. So it actually takes the lightness out of rather than like compressing you upside down, right? It maintains that curvature of your spine. So, hand position. You want to be relatively close to the wall again so that you can get your bum back behind your heart, but fearlessly because the wall will catch you. And it's subtle, you'll see. So I started always with a base that looks like this. Interlace the fingers and then pinkies out. And you don't have to take this hand variation, but it gave me something flat to press against the mat, as opposed to if your pinkies are like this, then it's not flat on the mat. You can try it for yourself. Pinkies out gave me a better base. And elbows in. So you'll tuck your head in between your elbows, but your elbows hug in. And it makes sense if you think about it, because the tendency, you want to go like this and create way more space, right? But the further you take your arms out, now you're balancing on a line. If your elbows are hugging in like this, then you're balancing on 3 points as opposed to a flat line. So it makes sense. Now you want to come relatively close to the wall. So really my pinkies are almost touching the wall. Forearms to the mat. Nestle your head right in, close to your hands, right at the base of the wrist, and it's the top, like the flat part of your head, is gently pressing the mat, but you're going to take the weight into your forearms. So there's that strong push of the mat away with your forearms. Untuck your toes, lift the knees. Now, I'll make this look easy for the first time. So you walk your feet in real close, and then you'll take one leg up, and then you just want to lift by flipping your hips. You want to flip your hips back, whoop, bum to the wall, right? Super easy. Not so much for your first time, right? I did a whole bunch of weird things, like trying to get my leg back, and hopping, and all these, whatever it takes to get you up there. That's probably where you're gonna start. But eventually, you're gonna feel what it feels like to get light. And it starts by hugging the knee in as close as you can to get your bum up as high as you can over your heart. And then from there, it's just a matter of using your core to flip the hips. Little flip. Boop. You don't even need to use the legs. And then sit. Sit your bum on the wall. Hold your knees in towards the belly and support yourself back on the wall. Feel what this feels like. Now again, I make it look really easy at this point in my practice, but I did that for months, just trying to get my feet up behind me, and I practiced in my bedroom, and the only space that I had at the time was up against my closet doors, and my closet doors would shudder back and forth every time because I was so heavy flopping back onto the doors. And then eventually it was less and less and less loud, the doors, until I was able to move myself off of the wall and actually catch it in the air. And that was a dope day for me. So that is something that you can play with on the wall. That was step 2. Step 3. So now we've practiced for months. We're getting super light. We're used to having the bum behind the heart and feeling ourselves upside down. That head rush has lessened just a little bit with all our practice, and we're ready to move away from the wall. So I started by moving just a little bit away from the wall, enough that I had space, I could catch the balance rather than relying on flipping back to hit the wall every time. But I still had the wall close enough that I wouldn't go all the way over if I did go too far. So let's see where we're at. Coming down this time a little bit further away from the wall. So I'm about, two of my own fists away from the wall this time. Same as before. Same hand variation. This is how I learned. This is my favorite. I've also seen people take two fists like this to the mat, or just interlacing the hands like this. But again, I prefer this. And elbows in. Nestle the head. Push the mat away. Walk the toes in. Hug the knee in. Flip the hips, and you're really going to engage into the core. And at first, it's like, you don't want to move your legs because you finally caught it and you're balanced, right? So this might be where you stay. Right here. And of course, if you go too far, the wall is right there. Right? Or go too far, catch yourself, and then come back off of the wall. Gently release the foot, hug catching your first inversion. Maybe, unless you caught handstand first, but I didn't. I started with headstand. That's step 3. Step 4, get fearless. This time we're going to face away from the wall and just play with taking our feet onto the wall and then away from the wall. And this time we have some practice catching ourselves with the support of the wall, and now we're going to remove the support of the wall, but we now know what it feels like to catch ourselves. Trust. So again, fairly close to the wall. My feet are touching the wall. Come down into the same hand variation that we've been working with, whatever that is for you. Nestle the head. Walk the feet up the wall. Strong push of the mat away. There's no weight in my neck, it's all in the forearms. Play with taking one knee in, foot away from the wall. And then release the toes from the wall, even just a little bit, even just for a second. And then more. Longer. Engage the core. Both knees hug in just like before. Remember to breathe upside down. And that's it. You start getting worried, bring your feet back to the wall. Woo! Now we're rocking headstand. That's step 4. Okay, step 5. Remove the wall. You can do it. Same entry as always. Hands plant, head nestles, untuck the toes, walk the feet in, tuck one knee into the belly, come up high on the other toes, engage the core, flip the hips, hold strong. So once you're comfortable in headstand, I'll show you a couple of leg variations that are fun to try. Wide leg, oh, I can't because of the wall. One leg, wide leg, straddle legs, which I can't do because of the wall. Straight up and down, this is actually really hard because it's a straight stack. Infinity. Here you're using the connection of the top of the thigh to the heel. Press together, sends the hips back further over the heart. Feels light. Other side. You can take the knees narrow, hug them in. Super good core workout. Lift back up. Play with that hip flip, rounding and flipping, or toe taps. Toe taps the ground. Shifting the hips from side to side. Or anything else you can think of. Now you own your headstand, and it's a great party trick. Thank you for watching some of the tips that I used personally to catch a headstand. If that's something that you're interested in doing, give it a try, take your time, honor that it does take time. This was the first inversion that I caught, was the headstand, and I actually haven't practiced headstand in a long time before today, so it's not something that goes away. It's kind of one of those like your body remembers it. So have fun and happy day. Bye.